the panel. Each person will have a few minutes to talk and present, and then if we could hold off the questions until afterwards, we can do sort of a group. There's Ross. A group Q&A session at the end. Yeah, right here. Go. Okay, so like I said, I'll say a few words about Pangaea Ventures, and then we'll get going. So we're an early stage clean tech fund that invests in world-class clean tech companies with advanced materials innovation. We've invested about $50 million so far, and we just launched our third fund, which is $100 million US a fund. Some of our LPs to date are largely big companies that invest and play in this space: Toyota, BSF, Umicore, Sauglass, Solvay, mainly companies outside of Canada. About 50% of our deal flow comes from universities, national research centers, and government agencies. So we love to see early stage deal flow and help commercialize these technologies into companies. And so far we invested about half of the money in Canada and about half in the US. We have an office in Vancouver and an office in the States in New Jersey. So we see advanced materials as really driving the clean tech market and solving a lot of the fundamental problems that some of the earlier speakers raised. We very much like the energy generation sector, energy storage, like batteries, supercapacitors, energy efficiency. That was talked about a lot in the previous few sessions, like LED lighting and building materials. Of course, there's a lot of environmental problems that need to be solved, like carbon capture, especially for Alberta here, and the sustainable materials, the life cycle of materials. We talked about, there's a question about CAD/TEL in the earlier session. Things like building materials, drywall, which consume a lot of, or emit a lot of CO2 when they're made, and recycle plastic, stuff like that. So we see advanced materials and nanotechnology playing a key role across all these sectors, and we're looking for technologies that are fitting one of these 5 silos. So I threw this slide up here. We've used this before with our advisory board, and we see micro and nanomaterials addressing a lot of the clean tech challenges. So we've got these materials that have very interesting optical, electrical, magnetic, structural properties, a few more listed here, that are helping have benefits like conversion efficiency, energy density, power density, weight reduction. So these are some of the benefits that they're bringing, and in the end we get better economics, performance, safety, sustainability, and manufacturability. So that's kind of how we see materials sort of flowing through this clean tech eco environment. So, boy, there's been lots of technology in this area. I mean, if you just look at the nanotech patents in the clean tech sector, in the last few years, there's been in the U.S. 876 patents issued just in the energy sector. 1,650 U.S. and international patents filed in the energy sector, and I, list them here. Solar's a big one. Wind, hybrid vehicles. We see lots of technology driving these markets, and most early stage companies are developing IP portfolios to create value. So carbon nanomaterials is playing a big part of the clean tech area. In the energy, we see different coatings for solar cells. I had a discussion earlier about third generation solar cells, nanostructured materials. There's a lot of very interesting things going on there. Organic photovoltaics, low efficiency, really low cost solar cells. Lithium ion batteries. Affecting the electrodes, which is a key area for battery companies, things they're trying to work on. Supercapacitors as well, we like that space. Fuel cells has kind of died off a lot in the last few years, but there's still a lot of nanotechnology that is trying to solve big issues in the fuel cell market. solid-state lighting, GaN materials to improve efficiency and bring down costs so that we can have LED lights in our homes at a reasonable price. There was discussion earlier about those companies. And then you got pollution control. Carbon nanomaterials are used for water purification, catalyst support, pollution absorption. There's a lot of applications going into water. And then just basic industrial clean tech applications like weight reductions and composites. The new Boeing Dreamliner plane just has totally turned the industry on its head because it's about 80% carbon fiber, much less weight, and it can probably fly around the world on one tank of gas if they ever get it out into production. So the clean tech market, these are markets that are growing very, very fast, and this is why VCs like this space. Virtually all of them are growing at 10% or more a year. These are just a few that can throw up here. Solar market alone is expected to be $80 billion by 2018. Great sectors for VC investing. Some of you may have seen this, global clean tech investing. It took this is VC dollars invested in the clean tech space. It peaked third quarter of last year at $2.7 billion in one quarter. And that's a lot of money going into early stage clean tech companies. Just like all VC sectors, it took a huge hit the next 2 quarters, but has bounced back a bit in Q2 of this year. Even though it looks like it's fallen, it hasn't fallen as much as most other VC sectors. And you can see by this chart, when VCs are asked, over the next few years, what do they see as growing in terms of where they want to put their money? By far and away, the clean tech sector, 63%, far outstrips any other VC sector for where VCs themselves see money going. This just shows you sort of the size of the VC rounds. I mean, these are big dollars. You've got initial rounds of about $6 million right now, and follow-on expansion capital like $16 million rounds. They've fallen, but we think that's mainly capital efficiency. People aren't putting as much money into things like big biofuel plants, for instance, or nanosolar, which was mentioned earlier, raised $300 million in one round. We're not seeing that as much. So the size has fallen, but they're still big dollars. Even in the public markets, the clean tech sector has done really well. This is a bit of a logarithmic chart, but Clean Edge has an ETF that tracks the clean tech sector, and since March, it's gone up by about 50%. That's a pretty good rebound in the public sector, and VCs often like to follow the public sector, so